Do you understand this, saints? All right, let's look at something else. Satan's snares are laid for us as verily as they were laid for the children of Israel just prior of their entrance into the what? So, brothers and sisters, what we're seeing here is that the second coming of Christ lines up with entrance into the land of Canaan. You with me, saints? Because the land of Canaan represents what? It represents heaven. So, brothers and sisters, whatever took place on the banks of Jordan is what would take place just before Jesus comes. You with me, saints? You sure you with me now? Whatever took place on the banks of the Jordan just before they would go into the earthly Canaan land represents the very same thing that would take place among us just before the second coming of Christ. And so she says the trials of the children of Israel and their attitude just before the first coming of Christ illustrate the position of the people of God and their experience before the second coming of Christ. Are you with me, saints? So, brothers and sisters, what we're looking at is a parallel. And that's the way the Bible is written. It's written in a type and a type format. So we cannot miss it, what God is doing, what's happening. So we can see Satan in all of his deceptions. Are you with me, brothers and sisters? Look here. The burden of Christ's preaching was, the time is fulfilled. In other words, brothers and sisters, it was time for Christ to come and do this found thing to rescue his ancient church. That's the reason Jesus came. He came to rescue them from Satan. Then it says here, 70 weeks, said the angel, are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression, to make an end of sin, let me get out the way here, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and anoint the most holy. Let's look at 34 AD for a minute. Let's just look at this thing for a minute. Are you with me, brothers and sisters? Lord, help us, please. 34 AD lines up with what? In other words, brothers and sisters, what the children of Israel had to do by 34 AD, you and I have to do by the passing of the National Assembly Law. Now, what did they have to do again? They had to do what? Finish the transgression. What else did they have to do? Make an end of sin. What else? Make reconciliation for iniquity. What else? What else? What else? So what they had to do by 34 AD, brothers and sisters, you and I and God's church have to do by the passing of the National Assembly Law.